Have you ever experienced one of your goals so bad but just don't feel motivated to do it? Have you ever experienced motivation one day and you're able to accomplish your goal, but the next day it's just not there? Then this video is for you, so go ahead and keep watching. Welcome back everyone to Wells Wellness. Of course, we associate motivation as one of those things that gives us a warm, fuzzy feeling inside that just gives us the power to accomplish our goals. It could be a song, it could be a motivational speaker, it could be something that somebody said, and we're just motivated to act instantly. But the thing about motivation is it doesn't always last, and we don't always have it. So that brings us to the question, is motivation really necessary for us to achieve our goals? So the book Atomic Habits brings out a very good survey of over 250 people who had to track their goals and to see which group actually were able to accomplish their goals. So group A was just the tracking group. So they were just tasked with doing their goal but just writing it down. And then the next group, they were to track their goals, but they had motivation added to it. Group A was able to accomplish 33% of their goals. And guess what? Group B did the exact same thing. So motivation showed to not have helped this group at all. So sure, motivation is one of those things that we would love to have. And I don't think it's wrong, but as long as we have a correct association with motivation. Sometimes it makes us feel good in the moment, but it's not going to last, and that's okay. So now it's important for us to realize what really does drive us to reach our goals and something that's more sustainable. And for that reason, I want to talk about values. Value means the regard of something that is held to deserve the importance, worth, or usefulness of something. Values are what we do every day, where when we go to bed, we feel at peace about. Like we accomplished something, today was a good day if this happened. So those are some of the things that I equate to values. And there's a lot of research that shows that when you are doing things that are aligned with your values, you are more likely to do it. So what does that mean for us? That means that we need to not only decipher what our values are, schedule them throughout our day, but also strategize our goals to coincide with our values to make them more of an intrinsic motivation rather than an external motivation. So there's a worksheet I normally like to do with my clients, and it's called the Hierarchy of Values worksheet. And in this worksheet, it lists off 7 values that the things that we think about or the things that we say, the things that we do, all kind of reveal what our intrinsic values are. And they can be lumped in these 7. So the first one is our mental health, and that can be strategy or wanting to be engaged in something or the love of learning. Or it could also be the value of prioritizing peace and your mental health stability. The second value is business, the value of feeling like you've achieved something and the desire to be viewed as successful. There's also a value of finance, and that actually can boil down to just wanting the freedom to do what you want without being held back by monetary restrictions. Relationships is another one. The desire to be loved, to have a family or a sense of belonging. Number 5 is social cause, wanting to leave an impact, wanting to influence others for the greater good. There's physical well-being, of meaning just having that vitality of life. It could also mean the physical appearance of things, or wanting to look good for whatever reason is important for you, or to feel good so that you're able to help other people, things of that nature. And last but not least, you have your spiritual health, which is the desire to know the meaning of life, to be inspired, have a quest for your purpose. Like I said before, it's really important to not only know your values, but to know the hierarchy of them. What's number one for you? What's second? What's third? Because usually these all work together, but when you know your first, you're able to really connect your goals to those values. So I just want to take a moment right here and ask a question to you. What are some things that you think you value? What are some of the things that when you go to bed at night, you feel at peace about, or you had an amazing day because this happened? I want to know from you, what are some of those values that really encourage you and make you feel really good inside? Because that's mainly what we want to do. Our brain wants to feel good, and these helpful habits, though they take work to do it, overall we want that good feeling. So let me hear from you. Is relationships something that you value? Is it your spiritual health or your physical? What really drives you? And it could be something different than those 7. I would just love to hear from you. Also, I want you to notice what's not on your list of values. Notice how oftentimes we don't list TV, we don't list social media, but how much does that take our time or distract us from some of our healthy goals? Now, I'm not saying that relaxing every once in a while and enjoying social media or TV is bad. They serve a purpose and could be leisure. But as long as you are knowing that maybe this isn't connected to my value, I won't necessarily feel like I achieved much when I go to bed if I just do this. But just knowing that social media and TV may not be one of your values, now you can understand how much time do you want to allot to it. Something that has been really successful to me, because I love social media, I will admit it, is putting time blocks on when I can actually use it, or I can use it as a tool. After I get done with this, then I can use social media. Or putting a time limit, like I can check my social media during lunch, but other than that, I'm not gonna do it. So as long as you know what's your values and what are not your values, you are able to put the parameters you need in place for you to feel successful at nighttime, so that you can wake up and have another successful day. So something you might be wondering is, hey, I actually listed out my values, I listed out my goals. How can I strategize them? And that's where I come in as a wellness coach to kind of help you strategize. However, I do want to leave an example. I remember one of my clients, he said in the past that the most he was physically active was when he had a partner that was working out with him. And so we did the hierarchy of values worksheet. Relationship was one of the first things on his list. So it made sense why working out was a little bit of a struggle in his current season. So something, if that's the case for somebody else, something that we discussed with that client was, one, having an accountability partner where you can check in with someone to say that if you did it or not, or they can give you a sense of encouragement, or finding a workout partner. And that was really helpful for him in just realizing, okay, the reason I'm having such a hard time is not because of my willpower, but because it wasn't tied closely to my best value, which is relationships. So figuring that out can also just really help you to propel forward. So if you have any questions, you can totally DM me or send me a comment, and we can schedule a 2-session series on the hierarchy of values. So what I do is the first session will go over a worksheet that's really in depth about what you do, what you say, and it has a series of questions. And then the next session, what I normally do is strategize. Okay, this is your values, these are your goals. How can we help them to coexist? And you'll notice that it will really be encouraging and helpful for you to reach your goals. another way you can help your values and your goals coincide together is also just a perspective change. Sometimes I've noticed that mental health might be a number one value of a client that really wants to exercise. All right, well, if that's one of your number one values, then how can we switch that perspective? Instead of having the perspective that I need to work out to look good, or I need to work out because that's what everybody else is doing, to I need to work out because this actually helps my mental health. Perspective change can really just change the way that we see our goals, so that is not something that we dread, but again, is more of an intrinsic motivation rather than an external. And if it's near and dear to your heart, it's going to be personalized to you. So I hope this video was helpful. Again, if you have any questions about how I know my values, I know my goals, how can I help them coincide, I would love to hear your questions in the comments, or you can DM me, anything like that. And we're gonna do this together. We are going to reach our health goals together, because if I could do it, okay, you can too. And it's all by God's grace. We need Him in every single thing that we do. So I hope this helps, and I'll see you soon.